What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Buford Zone podcast. It's your boy Vaughn. I got some good stories lined up for y'all today, especially a funny one that's went viral from our own county, Buford County. But first thing I want to say is that I want to apologize to people who have been supporters of the show. I haven't been posting as much lately as I should have. I'm still trying to figure out the direction that I really want this show to go in, whether I want to do a Monday through Friday or maybe a weekend podcast or whatever. But I started the podcast out. I wasn't necessarily ready to put the podcast out there yet, but some opportunities presented themselves, and some people were in the area, and I wanted to get that interview with them while I had the chance to. So I went out on a limb, and I went ahead and I put the podcast out there in the public eye, not knowing exactly how I wanted to do everything yet, and it wasn't the perfect launch, and the reception was so great in the beginning and still now. So I just went ahead and started putting it out there, started booking interviews, and started getting the people in there, and I felt like I wasn't giving you guys any good content in between the interviews, and I think that was my biggest downfall, that I was just scheduling the interviews back to back and not giving everybody necessarily their own chance to shine at first. So I didn't do that. So I wanted to apologize to y'all for that, for those of you who have been listening to the show and want to see more from me on the regular and wondering what's going to come next. So I just want to let y'all know I apologize for that, and I do plan to keep posting more and more often as I get the chance to, in between my own work schedule. So now, moving on from that, this is the funniest story I've heard in a minute, and it's shocking me because I saw the story 3 days ago, and I thought it was just like a small story. It wasn't that deep, and it's crazy because I could have been one of the first people on it, which kind of made me mad. But I didn't think it was that deep. I thought it was just a crazy story. Oh, somebody else said something. Somebody said something, and I thought that maybe that I didn't want to go in that direction. I didn't want to bring all the racial negativity towards the show. Even though I do pay attention, I know about all the school shootings. I mean, not school shootings, all the unarmed black shootings and stuff like that. I know about all of that, and I do pay attention to it. And I do voice my opinion about that a lot. But I didn't want to bring, for the most part, I didn't want to constantly bring that negativity on the show. In this case, it's not a killing, but it's something that, to me, is related to it, and how some people think. A lot of people think that when we say things and when we feel the way we feel about these killings and about necessarily oppression in America, even though where it's at now in 2018 versus where it was at in like 1968 or so farther, when you ancestors were slaves, it's completely moved on from then, and I understand it's completely not the same, but I just want people to know that there's still some people that think a certain type of way. But the funniest part, and it kind of brings it to the front to me, but 3 days ago, I saw this story, and apparently a white woman in Bluffton named Lauren Cutshaw was arrested, and her reasoning for why she shouldn't get arrested was because she was a clean, thoroughbred white girl. And if it was me, I don't think, even if you've never been arrested or if you've been arrested multiple times, I don't think, if you're hey, what should I say? If I ever get arrested, what am I going to tell the cops to try to get me out of it? I don't think nobody else other than her thought that was a logical excuse. You know what I'm saying? Which throws me off. But since then, I was like, you know what? It's not that big, but it's gone viral. It's on Yahoo. It's on ABC. It's on BuzzFeed. Apparently, people who are listening to the show Friday were saying, it made it to Donkey of the Day, Charlemagne. And by the time you make it a Donkey of the Day for saying something or doing something remotely stupid, so to say, if you reach Donkey of the Day, that's the pinnacle. Once you reach Donkey of the Day, you're officially an ass. So but I have the article. I have an article that I'm going to read to you from Buford Gazette that was posted 3 days ago, and then I also have another I have the audio from another article they put on. They posted a video of her ride to the police station. They trimmed it down to a couple minutes. It was like 20 minutes long. They trimmed it down to like 3, so it's only a small snippet, but it'll give you enough of a detail as to what happened. So article from Beaufort Gazette, but Jeff Martin, Associated Press. And another note that they have this listed as a national section. So this isn't even they don't even have it listed as local news anymore. They have it listed as national. But here we go. A woman seen speeding through a stop sign at 60 miles per hour told officers they shouldn't arrest her because she's a very clean, thoroughbred white girl, police said. Her eyes glassy and bloodshot, Lauren Elizabeth Cutshaw was slurring her words, and the breathalyzer showed her blood alcohol level at 0.18%, according to police in Bluffton, South Carolina. Cutshaw, 32, told the arresting officers she shouldn't be jailed because she was a cheerleader, a dancer, and a sorority girl who graduated from a high-accredited university. Taken to the police station in handcuffs, she described herself as a white thoroughbred, and went on to say, "I'm a white, clean girl," the officer wrote in his report. I asked what that had to do with anything, wrote the officer, who was also white. She replied, "You're a cop, you should know what that means. And you're a cop, you should know based on the people that come in this room. Like, everybody of every color, like, doesn't go to jail." Like, also, she repeatedly stated, "My partner is a cop, and she'd been trying to get to her boyfriend's house when she was pulled over early Saturday." Cutshaw, a real estate agent, told the officer that she had 2 glasses of wine at an upscale restaurant. "How full were the wine glasses? I mean, I was celebrating my birthday," she replied. After another officer found marijuana and rolling papers in her Ford Fusion, she said she may have smoked pot earlier that evening as well, the report said. Cutshaw was jailed on charges including drunken driving, speeding, and marijuana possession, based in part on her own statements. Making statements such as these means to justify not being arrested are unusual in my experience as a law enforcement officer, and I believe further demonstrate the suspect's level of intoxication, the officer wrote. Messages left at the real estate firm she lists as her employer were not immediately returned. Bluffton is a town of 21,000 residents, about 20 miles northeast of Savannah, Georgia, and near South Carolina's Hilton Head. Now, this is hilarious. And the reason why it's so hilarious is because none of her reason, this is like pure, I don't even think, now, they said this was an indication of her level of intoxication. Like, I don't even think this was intoxication, because I've seen people panic when they get in trouble. I mean, even down to getting a referral in, like, high school or middle school. I've seen people panic when they get in trouble for the first time ever. So, like you said, if she's really never been arrested, I don't even think it was her being intoxicated, really. I think she just panicked and freaked out and said the first thing that came to her mind, everything that she's ever done right and not wrong to try to get her out of a ticket or going to jail. So next, I'm going to, which is what I'm waiting to show everybody. Next, I'm going to play the audio of her car ride with the police officer, which is honestly to me the funniest part of this whole thing. And I warn you, the video is terrifying. Good. Here you go. Okay. Hold on. Why did it pause? Yes, you're going to jail for the 3rd time.
really that bad?
Ran through a stop
Are you
sign.
serious? Really? I've never been arrested. Can't you see that in your system? Can't you see? I graduated from a really good Michigan University.
What's the name?
What's the valedictorian?
Almost don't count.
My birthday is next week.
Okay.
I was a former student. I was a student of American high school student. I was an all-American cheerleader. I mean, isn't it best to be my whole life? My whole life? I've never been arrested. I've never been in jail. Please. I don't want to know what it's like. I don't want to know what it's like. I'm a pretty girl. Please don't make me go in there.
Now, that was the clip that, like they said it was the video. The original dash cam footage was 20 minutes long, and they edited for length and clarity. But I don't really think I wanted to hear the whole ride. And only thing I feel bad for her about in this whole video is that when I watched the video, the first like a minute of the video where it wasn't audio, was that they were doing her sobriety test. It was raining. I'm sorry. I felt bad for because why are we doing a sobriety test in the rain? Now you're sitting in the back of a car, soaking wet, cold, But anyways, none of her arguments are valid, and then the fact that what killed me is that her logical reasons for getting out of it. I'm like, if you were like 20 years old or like 24, 25, you know what I'm saying, and you got arrested for the first time, and you started spewing out these things like, hey, I'm a good person, I'm cool, I'm a 4.0 student, I was a cheerleader, this and that. Like, I would understand you, but I mean, unless you went to college late, this is the thing. Unless you went to college late, you're 32 years old. Most people, if you go straight out of high school, which a lot of people don't, she could have went later in her career. I mean, later in her life, which I don't know that information. But if she went to college when you're supposed to, you were done by like 25 at the most. You were done college by then. So at 32 years old and you get arrested, why are you bringing up irrelevant stuff? My birthday's next week. Okay, well you don't get bonded out. You're gonna spend it in jail. I like, and to me, what this gives a glimpse into, and for all the people out there that are quick to have people who deem as Twitter fingers, but you have them on any site, Facebook, whatever, is that when somebody gets arrested or when somebody does something for the first time, everybody's so quick to jump, especially people who've never been to jail, are quick to assume the worst of a person. Oh well, you should have did this. Oh well, have fun in jail, you jailbird, this and that, until it's your turn to go to jail, and then you're a clean, thoroughbred white girl all of a sudden. Like, some people make mistakes, and that, and it happens. But when it's your turn, it's your turn. When you do something, you mess up. It don't matter what you did in the past. It doesn't matter what you did your whole life. You, at this point, you did what you did. In her case, she was drunk, ran through a stop sign at 60 miles per hour, and she had weed in her car. You're going to jail. I don't care what you did. I don't care if you saved the president from getting shot. I don't care what you did. That's your follow-up. You DUI. You got, celebrating your birthday. That's what you want to call it. And then she's like, oh, my birthday's next week. So, like, you're celebrating whole month your birthday must be. She must be one of those people that celebrate her birthday like that. And for Elizabeth Cutshaw, man, I don't know what to tell you. But you must have never gotten in trouble, seriously, for real, in your life outside of being arrested. You must have never got in trouble when you were a kid by your parents, because you are horrible at excuses, and you need to work on it. Like, that's what you can do. Why work on your excuses. If you get time, or if you haven't gotten bonded out yet, or whatever, even if you get out, that should be your next thing. Hey, if I ever get in trouble again, what's my excuse? And you need to figure it out, because you're not good at it. And if you ever get in another situation, it's not gonna last. you that long. So, but that's clean thoroughbred white girl, boy, I tell you. But that's all I got for y'all today, man. Y'all stay updated, and I'll keep bringing y'all more and more episodes. I accidentally tapped that video again. But, yo, it's your boy Vaughn. This is Buford's On. Next time.